Good morning, traders. I'm Adam Harris, and this is your opening bell. So it is Friday. I wanted to say the sun is coming up earlier, so it's going to get brighter. Soon I'm going to be doing this in early summer mornings. I'm very excited about it, and they won't even be using lights in the office. I'll be using natural sunlight for this. So it is Friday the 24th of February. Can you believe it? We're almost at the end of February. It's absolutely crazy. So the last day of the week, what do I expect to happen? Well, in terms of economic calendar news, today we have at 1:30 p.m. UK time, we have core PCE price index, and we have at 3 p.m. the new home sales. Okay, so just remember what I've been talking about recently about sensitivities with regards to fears of inflation. I have to say this, the markets are still kind of coping okay. They seem fine. I'm not sensing any fear. There's no real jitteriness. It's just that there's a battle going on with the US dollar. So we'll talk about that in a moment. Then in terms of earnings, we've got MoneyGram, Cinemark, Dell Technology, most of you know Dell, BASF, if you're from the 80s, you'll remember tape decks and everything. That's BASF tapes. And then we've got Deutsche Telekom. So, and then in terms of dividends, we've got Hermes International, you know, clothing brands as well, Northrop Grumman, New Skin, and Sherwin-Williams. So, that being said, so there's a little bit of stuff out there, not too much. There's no real splits or IPOs worth mentioning. Then if we have a look at the markets, this is where I think it gets really interesting. So my expectation for today, that dollar has managed to strengthen a little bit. And so I can see euros dropping. Sterling is holding up relatively well. Aussie and Kiwi are taking a hit against the US dollar today. Dollar yen is moving higher. Dollar CAD is moving higher. So there's much more kind of working in line with the dollar. Dollar's kind of taking a bit of control there. Where it gets interesting to me, you move across, you have a look at, say, crude oil still trying to push back a little bit. We've got gold is trying to turn around desperately. As I said, where it gets really interesting to me is when we move across to the indices. So the indices are really very reluctant to give up any ground. And there's clearly a battle going on there. They're kind of bobbing up and down. Today, I think, is going to be that one day where I think they're really going to want to try to close higher. And I expect that most of that action is going to take place during the US session later in the afternoon from kind of 2 o'clock, 2:30 onwards. That's where I expect it to really try to push back against the dollar. And actually, in that respect, it's different from what I'm seeing happening with currencies. I'm seeing that euro go low, but I'm seeing equities for the most part are really trying to stay where they are. And then we can see bonds as well are rising a little bit at the moment. They're still within a downtrend, but they look temporarily bullish. I find it interesting though, because that isn't something that we've seen it's not something I've seen much in, say, in the last year. Only so much in the last couple of months. So we could be coming to an end of some of those bonds heading lower, the Eurobond, for example. And then just wrapping up with regards to cryptocurrencies. So cryptocurrencies, similar to equities and similar to the indices, are very much trying to stay where they are. They're kind of getting pushed down a little bit, then they push back and try to regain some of their ground. So they're trying to kind of stay where they are. So this week, if I look back, I see a lot of movement has happened. For example, sustained movement has happened with regards to some of the commodities and some of the currencies. And yet, when I look at the equities, I look at equities we look at equities, indices, as well as cryptos, they've kind of been bobbing around. They've dropped a bit, pushed back a bit, gone up a bit, come back down. And so it's interesting to me because there's that split between the different behaviors. So, 6 months ago, or going back to say a year ago, at least a year ago, there was just a consistent movement. The dollar was in control and everything was moving around that. We're not really seeing that at the moment, and that is a very positive thing. So for today, just to wrap up, what do I expect? I'm expecting the dollar to continue to push with regards to currencies, stronger dollars, so seeing a lot of the majors weaken against that. I'm looking to see what happens with the indices. Are they going to be able to hold their ground and ideally close higher? And if they are, we might even see some gains in cryptos in that respect, and certainly might see some gains with commodities. Gold is also another one that I'm watching. So from me at my desk, I want to wish you a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week.